Okay, good morning everyone. So for this video, we will be discussing the concept of joint and solidary obligations. So let's start with, where is it? Joint obligation. Okay. Joint obligation is being defined as one in which each debtor is liable only for a proportionate part of the debt and the creditor is entitled to demand only a proportionate part of the credit from each debtor. Assuming you have this problem, we have A, B, C, and D borrowed 8,000 from Mr. E, F, G, and H. From the given, what would be our presumption without any other information as to whether it is joint or solidary obligation? We have the presumption that it is a joint obligation. An obligation is presumed joint if there is a concurrence of several creditors or of several debtors or of several creditors and debtors in one and the same obligation. Here, A, B, C, D. Okay, A, B, C, D. We have several debtors. E, F, G, H. Several creditors. How many debts and credits are there? So here, we have 4 debts. So si A, B, C, and D, apat na credit kay E, F, G, H. Okay? Second, how much is the obligation of A to E? A to F, A to G, and A to H. Take note that the obligation of A, B, C, D to E, F, G, H as joint obligation, you need to divide 8,000 divided by 4. So you have 2,000 each, diba? For A, B, C, and D. 2,000 divided by 4 ulit kasi apat sila. So si A is obliged to pay E 500, F 500, and G 500, H 500. So 2,000. Okay? 2,000 yung babayaran ni A. Obliged siya magbigay ng 500 kay E to F to G and H. So meron ng tigpa 500 yung apat. Next, how much is the obligation of B to E? 500 ulit. B to F, 500 ulit. B to G, 500 ulit. And B to H, 500. Okay? Next, how about C to E? Another 500. C to F, another 500. C to G, another 500. C to H, another 500. So ngayon, si E, F, G at saka H, meron na silang magkano? 1,500 each kung nasingil nila or nabigyan sila ng payment ni A, B at saka si C. Para matapos ang ating problem, we have another question. How much naman yung obligation ni D to E? 500. F, 500. G, 500. H, 500. So, ngayon, after A, B, C, and D paid E, F, G, H in their proportionate share, now, meron ng tig to 2,000 si E, F, G, and H. Then, the obligation is extinguished by the payment of the total amount. So, nakita nyo, in joint obligation, ulitin lang natin, one in which each debtor is liable only for a proportionate part of the debt and the creditor is entitled to demand only a proportionate part of the credit from each debtor. So, ang proportionate share ni E kay A, 500. Kay B, 500 lang din. Kay C, 500. Kay D, 500. Gets? So the presumption in favor of joint obligation, okay, that is for us to, hindi kasi mabigat, di ba? Yung sa joint obligation, hindi mabigat yung obligation mo to another party kasi nga, proportionate lang yung, proportionate lang yung kinakailangan mong bayaran. Okay? So, now, how about the effects of joint obligation? So, before we discuss solidarity obligation, let's go with the effects of joint obligation. The most essential and characteristic effect of joint obligation is that the share of each of the joint creditors or debtors in the credit or debt is considered distinct from one another, and as a consequence, first, as to extinction. Extinction of the debt of one of the various debtors does not necessarily affect the debts of the others. As to delay naman, the delay on the part of only one of the joint debtors does not produce effects with respect to the others, and if the delay is produced through the acts of only one of the joint creditors, the others cannot take advantage thereof. As to prescription naman, by the judicial demand of the creditor upon a debtor, it does not benefit the other creditors nor interrupt their prescription as to other debtors. In the same way, pag partial payment naman or acknowledgement made by one of several joint debtors, it does not stop the running of the statute of limitations as to others. Pag sabihin naman natin yung effect as to vices of each obligation arising from a personal defect of a particular debtor or creditor do not affect the validity of the other credits or debts. And if in case hindi makabayad, kulang yung pera, insolvency of a debtor, the insolvency of a debtor does not increase the liability of his co-debtors, nor does it authorize a creditor to demand anything from his co-creditors. Okay. So these are the effects of joint obligation. Now let's proceed to joint indivisible obligation. When there are several debtors or creditors but the prestation is indivisible, the obligation is joint. Okay, unless solidarity has been stipulated. So when is there an joint indivisible obligation? One is to obligation, example is obligations to give a definite things. Sabihin natin iPhone 12. A, B is obliged to give C and D an iPhone 12. That's a definite thing. Sabihin natin may model pang binigay. Okay? Now, what would happen if yung casing lang muna yung binigay? Hindi pwede yun. Dapat buo. Otherwise, it will be converted to what? An obligation to give a corresponding equivalent amount of money, no? Para mabigay talaga yung definite item na kinakailangan as part of the obligation. The party or the person na hindi makapagbigay ng kanyang share, siya lang yung entitled, siya lang yung obliged to give aside from his proportionate share an amount equivalent to damages. Okay. Second, obligations not susceptible of partial performance. Ano kayang example nito? Let's say for example, you are obliged to perform a song, in a concert. Hindi naman pwede yung first stanza at saka second stanza lang yung kakantahin mo. What if yung song, yung the entirety of the song, sasabihin mo na lang, okay, sa next concert na lang yung iba. Charot. Hindi pwede, That is an obligation not susceptible of partial performance. Indivisibility provided by law or intended by the parties, even though the object or service may be physically divisible, and in obligations not to do when the character of prestation requires indivisibility. Okay. Now, if that is clear, let's proceed with the concept of joint and solidarity obligations. Okay, then what are then the exemptions to the general rule? When the obligation expressly states that there is solidarity. Second, when the law requires solidarity and when the nature of the obligation requires solidarity. So, parati natin naririnig yung word na solidarity. Ano nga ba yung solidary obligation? Okay. Where are you? Here. Solidary obligation, one in which each of the debtors is liable for the entire obligation and each of the creditors is entitled to demand the satisfaction of the whole obligation from any or all of the debtors. Okay. So, let's take a look at this example. We have A, still A, B, C, D. Umutang ng 8,000 to E, F, G, tsaka kay H. Tanong, how many debts and credit are there? Isa lang. Okay? Isa lang. Kasi nga, each of the debtors is liable for the entire obligation. Okay? How much is the obligation of A to E, to F, to G, tsaka kay H? Question, another question. Obligation ni B kay E, to F, to G, to H. How about kay C to E, to F, to G, to H, and kay D to E, to F, to G, to H? Hay, marami bang utang? Pero dahil ito ay isang solidary obligation, isang utang lang ni A, B, C, and D kahit sino sa kanila ang magbabayad kay E, F, G, H. Isa lang din. So, isang utang, isang debt, isang credit. Okay? Kahit kahit sino din na creditor ang pwedeng mag-demand ng satisfaction of the whole obligation from any or all of the debtors. Okay. Balikan muna natin. So, yun na yun. Yun na yun ang solidary obligation. So, hindi siya mahirap, no? Joint obligation, concurrence of two or more debtors, or two or more creditors. Ang general rule, joint. Bakit joint? Kasi hindi mabigat sa mga parting involved, no? Kasi pag solidary, ano ba solidary? Kinakailangan mong bayaran lahat. Okay? So, mabigat yon. Paano na kung wala kang pera, di ba? So, now, there are different kinds of solidarity, no? Pwedeng solidarity in the active solidarity or solidarity on the part of the creditors. So, ano ba yung solidarity on the part of the creditors? This is the tie among several creditors of the same obligation, by virtue of which each of them, as regards his co-creditors, is creditor only as to his share in the obligation, and in regard to the common debtor, he represents all of them. Ang essential feature ng active solidarity is the existence of mutual agency or mutual representation among the various creditors. Now, what would be the consequences of this so-called mutual agency? If may beneficial act, no? Each one of the solidary creditors may do whatever may be beneficial to the other solidary creditors. Yung maningil ka, di ba beneficial yon? Thus, any solidary creditor may make demand, judicial or extrajudicial, upon the debtor or debtors or proceed against any one or some or all of the solidary debtors. Now, kung may beneficial act, meron din tayong tinatawag na prejudicial act. The existence of mutual agency does not, however, authorize each one of the solidary creditors to do anything which may be prejudicial to the other solidary creditors. Alam mo sabihin nun, hindi niya pwede i-forgive na walang i-condone, ng walang pahintulot, no, sa other creditors. The effect of such prohibition applies only to the relationship existing among the creditors, but does not extend to the relationship of the solidary creditors to their debtors. As such, what would be the effect of prejudicial act to debtors? So, kay debtors, no? Sa part ni debtors as provided in Article 1215 of the New Civil Code, okay. Novation, compensation, confusion, or remission of the debt made by any of the solidary creditors with any of the solidary debtors shall extinguish the obligation. Wala na. Bayad na. Wala na, no? On the part naman ni creditors, effect among creditors. As provided, okay, under Article 1212 of the New Civil Code means that none of the solidary creditors can execute any act prejudicial to the others without at the same time incurring the obligation of indemnifying the latter. So the creditor who may have made any of the prejudicial acts mentioned, novation, compensation, confusion, remission, shall be liable to the others for the share in the obligation corresponding to them. So, ang haba-haba, ano bang ibig sabihin? So, example, yung sa example natin si A, B, C, D, may utang kay E, F, G, H, tapos solidary yung obligation. What if sabi ni E, no? Kasi mutual agency, any prejudicial act done by E parang siya ay isang representative na ni E, F, G, H. So sabi niya, wag mo na akong bayaran A, B, C, D. Wag niyo na kaming bayaran. So ano na mangyayari kay F, G at saka kay H? Sino na yung bagong, kanino sila hihingi ng payment ng utang? Diba? Na si E, sabi na ni E na wag mo na kaming bayaran. So, si E na ngayon ang magiging bagong debtor. Okay, to F, G, at saka kay H. Kasi prejudicial yung ginawa niya. Sa kanyang co-creditors. So, that's it for those prejudicial act na. Pero, aside from those, what are the other effects as to novation? Novation, kasi hindi pa tayo napupunta sa mga extinguishment of obligation. Novation is one of the modes, no? It means the total or partial extinction of an obligation through the creation of a new one which substitutes it. As to mere extension of time, as a rule, mere extension of time for payment given by the creditor to a solidary debtor does not release the others from the obligation. Okay, in-extend mo lang eh. Okay. How about the effect for in substitution of debtor? When novation consists in the substitution of the person of the debtor, okay, the creditor who effects the novation shall be liable to the other creditors for the latter share in the obligation. Okay. How about novation by subrogation? When novation consists in the subrogation of a third person in the rights of the other creditors, the creditor effecting the novation is likewise liable to the other creditors for their share in the credit, since subrogation transferred to the person subrogated the credit with all the rights appertaining thereto. Okay? But, take note, if the creditor subrogates a third person, not in the rights of the other creditors, but in his place, sabi ko, huwag mo na akong bayaran, si ano na lang yung bayaran mo. Let's say, for example, si Z, no? The same amounts to an assignment of his right, which he could not do without the consent of the other creditors. Okay. Meron pa. How about effects as to compensation? Okay. Compensation is one of the modes of extinguishment of an obligation, being defined as extinguishment to the concurrent amount of the debts of two persons who in their own right are debtors and creditors of each other. Si A, may utang kay E. Si E, may utang kay A. O, diba? But of course, kinakailangan na similar yung nature. What if yung utang is hindi money? So, walang compensation na mangyayari. Okay? The solidary creditor's personal debt has been compensated by the credit subject matter of the solidary obligation becomes liable to the other solidary co-creditors for their share in the credit. Okay. Confusion naman tayo. Another mode pa rin ng extinguishment of an obligation refers to a meeting in one person of the qualities of creditor or debtor with respect to the same obligation. Here, ano bang nangyayari? The solidary creditor in whom the confusion has taken place remains liable to the other solidary creditors for their share. Okay. So, ano ba ibig sabihin nito? Let's say, si A may utang kay E, si E may utang kay B, si B may utang kay A, balik ulit, si A may utang kay E, tapos si E naging debtor, di ba? Hindi, magulo nga magbigay ng example. Confusion. O, di ba? Ganun pala yun, kaya kinakailangan natin matulong ngayon, di ba? So, confusion. Assuming naiintindihan nyo yun, okay? Yun na yun. Sabi dito, the solidary creditor in whom the confusion has taken place remains liable to the other solidary creditors for their share. Okay. Yun. Basta yun na yun. Remission, another mode of extinguishment of an obligation, refers to a gratuitous abandonment by the creditor of his right against the debtor. Okay. Kinondone. Okay. Ano ba yung effect ng remission? Remission of the entire obligation. A total remission is the effect of extinguishing the entire obligation, but the solidary debtor who obtained the remission of the whole obligation is not entitled to reimbursement from his co-debtors because remission is essentially gratuitous. So, sabi ni E kay A na wag mo na akong bayaran. Of course, maghihingi ba si B, C, at saka, manghihingi ba si A mula kay B, C, at saka D yung share nila sa utang? Wala na, hindi na kasi extinguish na yung debt. Kasi nga sabi, remission is essentially gratuitous, no? Iyahay ki si A, mga kapangay siya kwarta kang B, C, D niya, wala ba siya ipabayad ni E, di ba? So, if affected by one solidary creditor, the creditor who made the remission becomes liable to his co-creditors for their shares, no? So, si E, sabi niya, huwag mo nang bayaran, no? Tapos, nanginanglan po kwarta si F, G, at saka si H. So, asa naman sila, diba? Kinondone na dibali ni E yung utang. So, si E ngayon is liable to E, F, G, at saka kay H. Okay. How about full share of a solidary debtor? What would be the effect as to solidary creditors? Ito ba? Effect as to solidary creditors. When the remission is for the full share of a solidary debtor in the obligation, he ceases to have any relation with the creditors from whom he is thereby released. Take note, unless the continuation of his solidary relation has been expressly reserved, in which case he will be a surety for the other debtors. How about naman sa effect as to solidary debtors? Ay baliktad. Okay. Yung effect as to solidary debtors, notwithstanding his release with respect to the creditors, he is still bound pala. However, with respect to his co-debtor, so that if one of the latter is made to pay the share of an insolvent, okay, the released debtor will still have to give his share in the portion of the insolvent. Okay, the same rule applies in case the debt had been totally paid by any one of the solidary debtors before the remission was effected. So, yun pala yung effect as to the solidary debtors. Yung unang nasabi is the effect as to the solidary creditors. Oops, sorry. Okay. Ulitin natin, no? So, effect as to solidary debtors. Anong ibig sabihin na the remission of the full share of a solidary debtor. So, hindi ibig sabihin na na-release na siya, no? Wala na siyang obligation to the creditor. Wala na talaga din siyang obligation with respect to his co-debtor. So, what if may isa sa kanila na hindi makapagbayad? So, dapat ginakailangan si solidary debtor, handa siyang punan yung pagkukulang, no? So, the same rule applies in case the debt had been totally paid by any one of the solidary debtors before the remission was effected. So, nandun pa rin siya. Okay? Kasi nga, what if may isa hindi makapagbayad? The released debtor will still have to give his share in the portion of the insolvent. But effect as to the solidary creditors, ang ibig sabihin lang doon is, he ceases to have any relation with the creditors from whom he is thereby released. Okay? Unless the continuation of his, unless a continuation of the solidarity relation had been expressly reserved, and in which case he will be a surety for the debtors. Hence, the balance of the obligation may not be collected from him, but to the other or to his co-debtor. Okay. Because yung remission is as to the full share of a solidary debtor. Okay, so those active solidarity. Next part would be yung second kind of solidarity, which refers to passive solidarity, solidarity on the part of the debtors. Here, yung isa is mutual agency. Ito naman is mutual guarantee. Okay, in passive solidarity, what exists among the debtors is a case of mutual guarantee, the result being that each of the debtors answers not only for the portion affecting him but also for the portion pertaining to the others. And as a consequence, the creditor may proceed against any one of the solidary debtors or some or all of them simultaneously. The demand made against one of them shall not be an obstacle to those which may subsequently be directed against the other so long as the debt has not been fully collected. So, passive solidarity. Passive solidarity. Ibig sabihin, kahit sino sa kanila yung i-oblige mo na, magbayad ka na. Para sa everyone na yon, para sa lahat na yon, okay? So, that's passive solidarity. Effect of payment made by one solidary debtor, extinguishment of obligation. Next is mixed solidarity. This refers to solidarity on the part of both the debtors and the creditors. So, pag sila solidary lahat, so meaning kahit na sino yung magbayad, na kahit kanino na creditor, yung effect niya ma-extinguish yung obligation. So, of course, kung sino yung nagbayad, i-reimburse din naman siya ng kanyang co-debtor. At saka yung sino yung napagbigyan ng pera, ibibigay din naman niya yung share ng iba sa kanyang co-creditor. So, hindi naman din lahat sa kanya. Basta solidary obligation, isang utang, isang debt lang, isang credit lang. Okay? What are then the defenses available to every solidary debtor? Defenses which arise from the nature of the obligation. So, ano ba yung mga defenses which arise from the nature of the obligation? These are the defenses which tend to weaken or destroy the legal tie or vinculum juris. These defenses constitute a total defense which can be availed of by any of the solidary debtors. Example, sabihin natin the contract is void or inexistent, or that the contract is unenforceable because it infringes the statute of frauds, or that the obligation is already extinguished, such as by reason of payment, remission, evasion. O, diba? Pwede yun. How about defenses personal to the debtor, being sued or pertaining only to his share? So, these defenses include not only those affecting the capacity or consent of the debtor being sued, but also those referring particularly to his portion of the obligation. Okay? So, ano ba example yan? Defenses personal to the debtor is being sued which are sufficient causes to annul consent such as minority, insanity, fraud, violence, or intimidation will serve as a complete exemption of the defendant from liability to the creditor. Okay? How about defenses which belong to another debtor? Defenses, whether total or partial, which personally belong to the other co-debtors are also available to the debtor who is actually sued, with the qualification that he may avail himself thereof only as regards that part of the debt for which the debtor to whom the defense belongs is responsible. Okay, I hope that is already clear. I think that would be the end of the presentation of this video. I hope I can read particular keys on joint and solidary obligation and share it to you guys. So I think that would be all for this video. Thank you, and please to like and subscribe to the channel and to follow our discussion, no, our class discussion. Thank you and have a good day. Bye.